Hey everybody, this is Rev J again. I thought I would go ahead and record a little something as I'm riding. Let me go back to the beginning of this thing. Rev J Rides. Number one, Rev for Reverend. A lot of people think that pastors don't ride motorcycles or don't ride Harleys or whatever. It's not necessarily true. I'm one who rides. So Rev J rides. Reverend J rides. Okay? Number two, the idea behind it is also that when I ride, I often have a few thoughts that I believe, God kind of lays on my heart. Positive thoughts sometimes, thoughts that we can learn from sometimes. It's like God's speaking to me and I feel like I need to share it with somebody. So I thought if I would record some of these rides or some of the things that is placed on my heart and mind, it might be helpful to some others. It might be helpful for us all to think about some things like this. Okay? So that's what I wanted to start with, first of all, just so you know where I'm coming from. But secondly, the thing that's on my mind right now is I am about one day from some major storms rolling in. They're talking about storms rolling in from the west. And we're under a flood watch for the next several days. Let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the days that we're under a flood watch for. And maybe even part of Sunday, I think. So 4 or 5 days. Now, so here's my thought about this flooding stuff. Okay, the first thing is, flooding is not entirely unusual. Over the history of the world, there's been floods. Okay? There's actually been one flood that covered the entire earth. So you can go to anywhere in the entire world and find evidence that it was once under the ocean. You dig a little bit into the ground, you're going to find some seashells or whatever. Okay? It's all been under the ocean at some point. All right. So floods aren't entirely unusual. I know everybody's hollering, hey, global warming. And there's a little bit of evidence that our Earth is warming up, yes. But the alarmists take it to an extreme because, 20 years ago they said we would be destroyed by acid rain, or 30 years, whatever it was. And then another decade later, we were going to be destroyed because LA and, Miami would be underwater and blah, blah, blah. There's always something. And it's never happening as quickly as they claim that it is. Ever. So, I'm not an alarmist, okay? Don't be one of those alarmists. Whoo-wee, let's all change everything we do because we're the ones that are in control of it all. I don't think we need to stop riding motorcycles. I don't think we need to stop eating steak. I really don't, okay? I think steaks are fine, cheeseburgers are fine. I think I'm going to ride my motorcycle as much as I can, and I hope and pray we don't have to ride electric motorcycles too soon. So I don't think that that's the main thing that's causing all this. I think it might be a minor issue amongst many things. But here's what I believe. I believe that God told us that he would no longer flood the entire earth ever again. He didn't say that there wouldn't be floods here and there. Floods in this part of the world or that part of the world. That's been going on forever. It's never been a case when there hasn't been some. I mean, you might go 30 years without a flood or 40 years. Let me give you an example. I lived in a neighborhood in Columbia, Tennessee for probably a decade or so. And that particular neighborhood had been completely flooded. The house that I lived in had been underwater almost up to its roof, almost up to the ceiling, up close to the top of the top window. Anyways, and then it still has not flooded there ever again like that since then. So there's a flood that took place there some, who knows, 40, 50 years ago that hasn't taken place again. So now there's flooding taking place elsewhere. I think that that's just normal. We live on a broken planet. It is not a paradise anymore, and we're going to have ups and downs, including floods, but also including fires. In fact, God said that He would not flood the earth again, but we see in Revelation that there's going to be an awful lot of fires. So He may destroy it by fire. That's a possibility. Strong likelihood if you read the Bible. Okay? So fires aren't uncommon, and in order for a fire to start, it's got to be pretty warm probably. I really think global warming has more to do with human beings turning their back on God and the world becoming more and more broken, and over time it's leading us to the destruction of the earth, which could be by fire. We believe it very well could be by fire. Okay? Now, is that going to happen next week? I don't think so. Is that going to happen a year from now? I hope not. 10 years from now? I don't know. I don't know when. That's not for me to know. Only God knows that. What I do know is that while I'm on this planet, no matter if I'm riding a motorcycle, in a car, on foot, whatever, I need to treat the planet as good as I can, and more importantly, I need to treat people as good as I can. But people are more important than the dirt out there or the tree right there. But people aren't the most important thing. The most important thing is to put God first. Love God and then love people. Now, after that, take care of the planet. So, here's my thought for today, this Thursday Thoughts. If we spent as much time loving God and loving people as some are spending, picketing and, destroying the earth to try to save the earth, putting up windmills instead of riding motorcycles.
Spending time loving God is time well spent. Spending time loving people is time well spent. Hey everybody, please hit like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.